Potatoes gon' potato, taters gon' tate, and haters gon' hate.
Today we're gonna visit the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Today we're gonna take the top tier tour bus, again, like hop on, hop off, and go try to figure out, our tickets are a little messed up for Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island, so we're gonna try and get to both of them today. Afterwards, we're gonna go check out Carlo's Bakery. Somewhere in between those, or before or after, we're gonna go visit other things from yesterday that we didn't get to check out. Bye bye, hotel.
So I got it. Oh, it's really good. It's kind of sweet though, pretty sweet. This whole area of the park has people playing chess. So we just got off the ferry and we made it to Statue of Liberty Island. So let's go look at it. So the Statue of Liberty has broken shackles at her feet to signify escape from tyranny. And then in her left hand, she holds a tablet of law that is written in Roman numerals, the date of the Declaration of Independence, which is July 4th, 1776. Then her crow's 7 rays represent a sunburst spreading through enlightenment and reason throughout the world. But then her torch and flames symbolize truth and justice, enlightening the world. So that's very interesting. And then there's a poem called The New Colossus that basically, it was written in 1883 to raise funds to complete the pedestal that she's standing on. But yeah, it's interesting. You can see from here, Freedom Tower. This is the Freedom Tower. And then just over here, that green pop is the Empire State Building. And then that's the Brooklyn Bridge, I think. It's one of the 3 bridges. 195 steps later and we made it to the top. And now we're going back down 195 steps. Got a New York style burger and onion rings with a side of tomatoes. We just finished eating, so hopefully we're gonna catch the ferry to Ellis Island. Hopefully they'll have enough spots for us to go. We'll see. We made it. to Ellis Island. We're gonna go into the museum. So when people came in, this was the registry room, and there were doctors that would watch, and if you looked like you were limping or like confused or like hurt or sick, then they would mark your jacket with a letter with chalk, so they were inspecting you from the moment you walked in. These benches are original benches that immigrants who came to Ellis Island sat on. So after the registry room, when you come in to arrival here, there were people who worked at Ellis Island that when they saw immigrants' luggages, by the way that they were tied, bundled, packaged, whatever, they could tell what nationality they were. Medical inspection cards were given to immigrants before they got on the ship that they carried with them so that they can present it to be examined one more time when they got off the ship. So when immigrants arrived off of their ship, they were examined and given a marking on their back based on what issue was found. And after that, they were divided up into groups and further examined. The registry room where many immigrants waited to be processed through was also called the Tower of Babel by the immigrants because of the echo of multiple different languages and dialects that could be heard. The United States required each ship bringing in immigrants to log into a book information about all of the immigrants, where they come from, their age, health, everything. So you would go in this room and then they would ask you questions and decide whether you could go through or not. So these are cards that were literacy tests, basically in multiple different languages. There were some passages written that immigrants had to read in order to prove that they were somewhat literate, which was a requirement for them in order to be able to go in. Then you went to the hearing room. These are immigrants who were in the hearing room and had to go basically through a trial or an extra hearing in order to get an additional screening to see if they can come in. There was also concern about food for the immigrants, whether the immigrants could afford food, whether there was food provided for them, whether there was enough. So after they were passed through inspection, before they leave to go into the US, they could go to this food concession stand, like food store at Ellis Island, and get food. So these maps were used for immigrants who came. These were different train schedules and railroad paths that immigrants could use in order to get to their destination. Next, you'll go through mental testing. So one of the mental tests that they had was that you had to fill in shapes into their correct spots, solve puzzles, do different mind tests. An example of that is shown here, where you had to put the shape into the correct size, and if you failed, that was reason for them to send you back. Another test was them asking you to draw certain shapes.
For this, you had to find 4 happy faces in 20 seconds. For this, you had to match the envelopes for 18 seconds. And then for this, you had to find matching leaf clusters in 28 seconds.
These are some of the tools that were used to examine female immigrants. Some eye vision tests that were also done in different languages, as well as different shapes. Some women came as immigrants because they were mail order brides. 230 out of 700 women passengers on one ship were from Turkey, Romania, Armenia, and Greece, and were coming to be married once they came off of Ellis Island. About 20% of immigrants on Ellis Island were detained for days, weeks, or months for various legal reasons. These are detention cards. 2 of them had medical stamps, but many of them were due to lack of finances or railroad tickets. Ellis Island also had seating for the immigrants. There was also a milkman that would come around with a canteen full of milk to give for the kids. A kosher kitchen was also set up for the Jewish immigrants because many of them were undernourished.
There was a lady who said that in Italy, their bread was so good. When she tried the bread here, it was so soft and she thought it was gross. And then a Romanian guy who said he didn't know what butter was, and he was so happy to have butter for the first time.
Only about 2% of immigrants who came to Ellis Island were turned around and deported back, which was about 250,000. These are some of the women who were denied entry, and these are some of the men. These are pieces of the walls from within Ellis Island where immigrants who had hearings that did not go well had written their frustrations on the fact that they're so close yet so far from getting inside the United States. These are certificates of naturalization for immigrants who made it through the process. These are women who had to take classes in order to learn about the American flag. These are Chinese immigrants, and they had to dress up like the Statue of Liberty and Uncle Sam in order to show that their allegiance is purely to the United States.
So there were lots of immigrant children who had to go between 2 cultures, their parents' culture, ethnic culture, and then a new culture that they were getting in the US with like American customs. So they were called go-betweens, where they were going back and forth between 2 different cultures, and they had to be their parents' translators and all kinds of things. And that still happens today.
On the right is a fish dealer's daughter in California, and on the left are Greek newspaper boys in New York City. This is a street corner on the right, and on the left is an outdoor playground on a school roof. On the right is a combined bath and laundry in a tenement aid, and on the left is a Talmud school in New York City. This is a Japanese church picnic in Oakland, California. And these are members of the Italian Society. This is a Russian Jewish tea party. A children's choir that formed the Norwegian flag. Lebanese immigrants. a group of Mexican immigrants, and a Czech gymnast festival. It's sad because lots of immigrants got made fun of for being immigrants, but also got made fun of other immigrants as well. Because parents were so eager for kids to learn English, they would tell their kids, don't speak, Italian, Polish, German, whatever, speak English. People were slowly starting to lose their language too, and they would also feel like embarrassed to be foreign. Assembly line work also attracted many young automobile workers, which included Romanians, but also Italian, Polish, Finnish, and Hungarian. This shows the proportion of native versus foreign-born workers, so that orange is the foreign workers and the blue is native. This is the store of a Chinese immigrant, and it was called Ching Chong Huang. Many Cape Verdean immigrants became whalers. Many immigrants who were Polish, Czech, Irish, German, and Lithuanian dominated the meatpacking industry. These are Jewish chicken farmers, and this is a sheep farm. A salmon canning factory where most workers were Asian immigrants in Puget Sound, Washington. 40% of Chicanos worked in agriculture, in Southwest agriculture, where it was cotton picking. So we got tteokbokki, and I haven't had tteokbokki like this before, but it was pretty good. And we got soy and garlic fried chicken wings with pickled daikon. We finished eating. I didn't get to show you guys a lot because we were in a rush because our bus leaves in 20 minutes. We're going back now to the bus. One more floor and then we get there.
So it's the next day because last night we were too tired to get our desserts and eat them. It was also very late. But here it is, Carlo's Bakery. And we got one classic cannoli, one lobster tail, one pumpkin cheesecake, and one strawberry cheesecake. This is what it looks like. A little battered from the trip. That's the cannoli, the lobster tail, the cheesecakes, pumpkin and strawberry. It's really good because the cream is thick. And the crust is still pretty crispy. It's really good. The inside is the cream similar to a dessert that we make in Romanian desserts.